Hello, welcome back to Survive Homeschool. Today I will show you how I make pie crust and then how I use it to make savory hand pies. For the pie crust, you're gonna need 3 cups of all-purpose flour, 1.5 sticks of butter, 1/3 cup of shortening, 1 tablespoon of sugar, 1 teaspoon of salt, and 1/2 cup of ice water. Now here I am putting the flour into the blender, and I am being careful to measure and make sure that I have exactly 3 cups. It's important to measure everything when baking. Make sure your butter is cold, preferably freezer cold. If you cannot work with it when it's so cold, then cut it and then put it in the freezer for like 15-20 minutes. It should help it get cold enough to make flaky crust for our savory hand pies. So it was the butter and the sugar, and here comes the salt. And now I'm going to add a 1/3 cup of shortening. Notice at this stage, no water yet. So you combine everything except for water, and then I'm gonna close the blender, and we're gonna pulse or run or blend or whatever it is that your blender does. Mine does just the blending. It's called blend. So there we go. And I'm running it for about like 15 seconds. You know, it's real fast. It's turned into a small crumb. Yeah. Now for the water, you can see ice in my water. I make sure that ice doesn't get into my dough. Keep the ice out of it, but make sure your water is ice cold. Run the blender again. Now this time it will take a little bit longer, and you will notice how the soft, kind of wetter crumb is forming there. This is what we're looking for. This took about 15 seconds, 20 maybe. I really like using my blender to make pie crusts because it's so easy. Just dump it on the board. I'm saving it because I'm making 6 recipes of pie crust this time around. Because I'm making savory hand pies for the freezer meal club that I'm in, and I am supposed to bring, I think, 5 meals to share. Yeah, I think it is 5 meals to share. So I need to make 96 hand pies. And then after that I would like to make some more for my family to enjoy. And so here I ended up making about 150 or 160 hand pies altogether. But you know, you don't have to do it this way. You can just do one recipe and make them and freeze them, or don't freeze them, just kinda use them as it goes, as you like it. So after I shape the ball, I'm gonna put the dough into the cling wrap and wrap it, seal it. Then I'm gonna do the other one, and then they're gonna go into the refrigerator for at least 2 hours. I prefer having them there overnight. Cling wrap, very seldom would cling wrap cooperate with me. So the first one was almost a miracle. Okay, here we go. Make it flat so that it sits in the fridge. Will be easy to roll it out then later also. And there you go. Then you put that in the fridge. And here's my stash, what I've got in my fridge. The recipe for the pie filling that I used for my savory hand pies. I used roasted chicken, caramelized onions, boiled potatoes, salt and pepper. You can do pretty much any proportion of this. You can use lots of potatoes and a little bit of chicken, or you can do the other way around. Over here I thought this would make enough filling to share with 6 more people to create enough pies, but I ended up making like twice as much as I needed. So it goes a long way. So if you're just doing one recipe and you're doing just like 2 pie crusts, I would just go with like 2 potatoes and maybe a chicken breast and 1 onion, caramelized onion. But you know, use your judgment. And that potato filling, it's real yummy, and I didn't have problem eating it as leftovers for lunch anyway. So here I've got my dough out of the refrigerator, and I should have let it sit out longer, and I was anxious to just get it over with. I think this is my 8th or 9th at this moment, and if you noticed, it was a little bit crumbly in the beginning. That's because it's cold. So I'm using the warmth of my hands while I'm kneading it to bring it back to a better temperature so it's more pliable and workable. I also do like to use my pastry board and my pastry cloth on it with flour on it. It helps with sticking. The dough doesn't stick to the surface that I'm rolling it on. Now this one would not cooperate very well. Just a fair warning to you guys. It's gonna tear a little bit because I wasn't very careful with this one measuring ice water. I think I put like a tablespoon or 2 tablespoons less water in there, and it kind of got to me later. I realized what I did, but it's not fixable, so I'm just gonna work with it and roll it out and see where it takes me. So just keep rolling. If there is a hole, fix it. There is a piece of there is a piece of green onion on there from the filling from the previous pies. So just keep rolling, keep rolling. It takes a while, but once you start going, it gets easier. It doesn't have to be perfect because you're just gonna cut out little rounds and use them to create your hand pies. Okay, so there we go. I'm using the fluted cookie cutter because that's what I found in my drawer. It doesn't make any difference. You can just use a regular round cookie cutter. You can use a cup, a glass, a mayo jar lid, whatever works for you, as long as it creates a uniform shape that you're comfortable working with. Go with it. You can make them square, you can make them diamonds, you can make them triangles, pretty much whatever you like here. So over here you see me use a different pie filling. It's cooked rice with hard-boiled eggs, green onions, salt and pepper, and I also added 1 or 2 tablespoons of water. You don't want to make it runny, you just want to add enough water for it to be kinda moist so it would stick together better, and then when it bakes the rice doesn't dry out, it's got a little bit of moisture. So you put the filling on your little rounds, and then you close them as little dumplings and you pinch on the sides. Make sure that you pinch hard because they do fall apart. Like if it's not pinched well, they will fall apart. And then when it's ready, you put it down on a floured cookie sheet. Make sure you do flour your cookie sheet, otherwise if you plan to freeze those, they will stick and then they will break as you try to take them off. And so here we go. And then when they're done, I sprinkle flour on top of them, well then cookie sheet, and I put them in the freezer. Let them sit there for a couple of hours or overnight, it depends on your freezer. And then you put them in freezer bags and you store them for up to 3 months. When you're ready to bake them, you need to preheat your oven to 400 degrees and bake them from frozen. You don't need to thaw them. Just put them on the cookie sheet and bake them for about half an hour until they're golden brown. Again, it depends on your oven, but in my oven it's usually about 30 to 35 minutes or so. And we like to serve them with with sausage gravy. And my friend had served them with some queso, sausage queso. We had them with ketchup, we had them with sour cream. You can just snack on them as you go. Keep them as an easy lunch after they're baked in the refrigerator for up to like 3-4 days maybe. Just enjoy them. Be careful as you reheat them in the microwave because they might get soggy. So here's my hand pies, and they are delicious. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Feel free. I would like for you to come and check out my blog at survivehomeschool.blogpost.com. Give me thumbs up, give me thumbs down, subscribe if you like. I will do my best to post more often now that I have my editor. Okay, bye.